Your Honor, I'm here speaking on behalf of the 183,000 residents of Ulster County.
Mr. Mayor, can I just ask you to just turn this way so the court reporter can get your comments as well? Thank you.
How's that? Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the DEC for hosting tonight's meeting. Thank the Ulster County Legislature for moving its regularly scheduled legislative session to New Paltz in order to allow individual legislators the opportunity to voice their concerns. It is my great hope that the Ulster County Legislature will pass the legislation we have proposed demanding fundamental change to this proposed consent order, because at its heart, the consent order is broken. That said, I do want to thank the DEC for assuming lead agency in the future seeker process. By having New York State take the role of lead agency, the New York City DEP will not be able to be their own judge and jury, which is what they have always wanted. But it is important to note that this public hearing, which is the only opportunity the citizens of Ulster County have had to be heard, is happening tonight because my office and the New York State Attorney General's office pushed for an action over 18 months ago. I am also puzzled as to why this public hearing, which is designed to address the concerns, address New York City DEP pollution of the Lower Esopus, is being held nowhere near the Lower Esopus or near the residents who live along the Lower Esopus. I am also troubled that the public hearing has not been highly publicized by the New York State DEC, and that my office and the legislature of the county have had to inform the people of Ulster County about this hearing, or otherwise they simply would not have known. I also want to make it clear that the people of Ulster County do fully appreciate the importance of providing water to our 9 million neighbors in New York City. But there is a reality. The people of Ulster County have been violated by the bureaucratic monster that is the New York City DEP time and time again. You see, they haven't been a very good neighbor, and you at the DEC are supposed to make sure that they are. I recognize that this hearing is not designed to address the horrific conditions that many people in Wawarsing have been forced to live with as a result of the New York City DEP's actions. I recognize that this hearing is not designed to address the fact that the people of Ulster County have had to subsidize New York City water rates because they refuse to pay their fair share of property taxes. But we are here tonight because of the gross mismanagement of the New York City DEP in polluting the Lower Esopus, and the importance of having the New York State DEC stand tall as a regulatory agency and do its job. By dumping unprecedented amounts of polluted water down the Lower Esopus with a blatant disregard for the people of Ulster County, the New York City DEP has harmed our property owners, harmed our environment, and harmed our economy. Not with just regular muddy water that occurs after a rainstorm, the type of concentrated, turbid water sent into the Lower Esopus that is considered pollution by both the New York State and the federal laws. Tonight, I am asking you to hold them accountable or begin that process. I'm here tonight on behalf of those 183,000 Ulster County residents to tell you that the consent order does not even come close to making things right. It's unconscionable that it's taken 18 months and the involvement of the New York State Attorney General's office to get to this point. And with respect to the consent order, I have enormous concerns that it is both woefully inadequate and in no way, shape, or form acts as a deterrent to future abuses by the New York City DEP. The draft consent order permits the city of New York to continue flooding and polluting Ulster County indefinitely in violation of the state's own water quality standards. It acts as a de facto license to damage our environment, a license to damage our economy, and a license to harm Ulster County property owners.
Mr. Hart, can I ask you to conclude? You're a little bit over your 3 minutes.
Let him speak.
The person who, just so you know, Your Honor, the person who speaks next is our Department of Environment, and we'll absorb some of that time.
Okay.
The draft consent order does not include any relief for the people and businesses of Ulster County who suffered enormous damages. The draft consent order penalties were reduced to a mere $1.55 million, of which the city is credited with 1/3. Ulster County does not consent to this, especially since these fines do not act as a deterrent and will not change New York City DEP's action. The fact is, these fines should be in the tens of millions of dollars to bring relief to the people of Ulster County. You have given them a license to pollute and a license to abuse. and the consent order fails to provide compensation for cleanup and restoration of the environment as a result of the damages caused by the New York City DEP. In fact, a large portion of these monies in connection with that would have been required to be paid anyway by the DEP with respect to turbidity control efforts conducted within the FAD, or filtration avoidance determination. And unfortunately, the New York State DEC did not allow Ulster County to participate in any way, shape, or form in any of the negotiations that resulted in this draft consent order, despite the fact that the people of Ulster County were injured and despite the fact of repeated requests. Ulster County did not consent to being left out of the process. The state and the city are collectively deciding the fate of Ulster County without Ulster County at the table. The people of Ulster County have had to pay for out of their own pockets debris removal, dock replacements, stream bank stabilization, channel restoration, erosion control. Plus, they've had their properties devalued. You see, the eyes of the state are upon you. People throughout upstate New York are watching the DEC's actions closely. They want to know, will you take the easy way out and side with the massive, highly influential bureaucracy of the New York City DEP? Or will you show the character of public service to protect the rights of the minority? You see, tonight can be a pivotal moment in the history of the New York State DEC. Because in this David versus Goliath battle, you're supposed to help when Goliath corrupts the process. The real questions are, will you help? Will you stand up for what is right? Will you hold the polluter accountable? And will you protect Ulster County's environment, our economy, and the incredible people of Ulster County? Until the New York City DEP does the right thing, the reality is, it is my belief, from this point forward, they should be referred to as the New York City Department of Environmental Pollution. You must do your job. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming tonight. This is a collective effort, and we will win.